I want to circle back around with the IGs, with the inspector generals, with what you just said right there. The reason they were all fired first is not because they look into the fraud or corruption or whatever. In my opinion, this is just my opinion, but when I saw them all go first, I'm like, oh well, there goes the whistleblowers. So what happens is that any federal agency, where you have federal employees, the whistleblowers, the channels for them to say, oh my God, they're doing this illegal thing is happening. The reason why there's an investigation is because people report. And if you chop off the heads of the IGs and you destroy those departments, there's no channel through which to report. So it leaves employees with the only option being go to a private attorney, and pay for that, or make it public, in which case they'll then be prosecuted because they'd be violating another process. So that's why those IGs had to go right off the bat, because criminality was going to happen, and they did not want a channel for it to be reported. It wasn't about investigating it. They could have just thrown out the case and everything. They didn't want anybody to know what they were doing. And the people who were there could see what was happening to their systems and to the data and to the information, the employees, but they were powerless to stop it and had nowhere to turn to report it, because the IGs were gone.
Well, I think that's exactly right. I mean, they perform this internal function as well as this external sort of public interest
Right.
function in terms of the way programs are managed. But it's 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 exactly as you say, and in some ways it's even worse because, for example, for people in the national security agencies, so there's no federal whistleblower protection. The way it works is, as you say, you take a complaint internally to the IG. That's how you preserve your job, as well as trying to right the wrong. But for people who are in the national security arena, they by regulation, by these rules, in essence, aren't even allowed to talk to Congress.
That's correct.
Without first speaking to the inspector general within their agency. That's for the National Security Agency or the National Reconnaissance Office, the Pentagon, the CIA, et cetera. There are those internal rules that provide an additional requirement of reporting violations internally before they're allowed to even reach out to Congress. I've dealt with whistleblowers numerous times over the years and have always obviously counseled them to get their own attorney before they speak with the press or ask me to talk with connect with a reporter. And I always urge them to have their own counsel. But even independent of having your own counsel, not having that internal mechanism means that we're even at greater risk of this sort of lawlessness, law breaking by people that Trump has put into positions of power without having that mechanism.
And thievery. Yeah. The reason for the lawlessness is because shit's getting stolen. They're thieves. They're thieves.
I think that, if we're it is more efficient to get rid of all the inspector generals and have all that responsibility given to a 22-year-old named Big Balls. I think we can all agree. I think that's it.
19.
Oh, he's 19. I get Big Balls mixed up with the other guy.
Yeah.
The guy that did the election hacking software thing. That guy. I can't believe we're living in this timeline.
Yeah.
Is really how it is.